So I want to run down the whole they ain't played nobody argument and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I want to talk about the whole strength of schedule argument heading into week 6 games. And I understand that this is going to change a lot in October. As a matter of fact, a favorite prediction of every college football enthusiast and every college football analyst is in October, an unranked team is going to beat a ranked team. It's just a matter of which one and how high that number is next to the ranked team. And we get a really good indication of what that looks like based on strength of schedule rankings and who's coming up and so forth, so on. So let's run it down right quick. And these are via team rankings, which is doing this rating thing based on, a number of factors, not the least of which is who did you play, where did you play, how did you play, so forth, so on. And I don't think it's a surprise that Notre Dame is at number 1, being that they went into Athens and they did the thing that they did against Georgia. Georgia got the W, but Notre Dame is number 1, and that's kind of cool. Auburn at number 2 also just means that we're probably looking at a second SEC team getting in if Auburn goes with the 1 loss. Now, they get a really stout Florida team in the Swamp on Saturday. Bo Nix, true freshman quarterback, going to the Swamp, which is historically tough place for true freshmen to play. Plus, you get a defense that's going to be back to full strength with C.J. Henderson at corner. And you also got Jabari Zuniga coming off the edge. Good luck with that. Now, I know that there's this stat floating around that they got 24 sacks through the first 5 weeks of the season. And that number's a little inflated because we all watched week 0 where they were just feasting on Jaron Williams' body. 10 sacks in that entire game. I'm talking about 10 brown bag specials. It's a lot of sacks, man. And Zuniga's coming back off of the left ankle injury. C.J. Henderson's coming off of a left ankle injury. We'll see what that means for the passing attack because I'm really looking forward to Seth Williams versus C.J. Henderson. But again, Stanford at number 3, Oregon at number 4, North Carolina at number 5, acquitted themselves very well against Clemson. Might have the best loss in all of college football. Yes, we do that thing where we give points for losing and we dock teams for winning. See Clemson. All right. A&M at number 6. A&M is going to be arguing that they should be a top 10 team with 4 losses on the record in the year, but such is what Aggies do. UCLA is at 7. My goodness, who saw that one coming? They're 1-4, right? With the 130-point affair with Washington State. That was a lot of fun, and I would probably rewatch that one in the offseason. South Carolina at 8, but we knew that because of just how their schedule lined up. Anytime you get Bama on your schedule, you're going to get a boost in strength of schedule rankings. Number 9, we're looking at Georgia, 4-0. Number 10, LSU, 4-0. We think that Georgia or LSU or Bama going to be your SEC champion. I don't necessarily want to bet against LSU or Georgia in this capacity. I'm actually betting that Bama gets knocked off by one or both of them in some way. We'll just see. LSU's got to travel to Tuscaloosa. You got to figure if they win that game and they go out the rest of the way, they're your number 1 team. We'll see. Then number 11, Northwestern. My goodness. Okay, cool. Bad year for Northwestern to have a strong strength of schedule. Ohio State at number 12 is sneaky awesome because one thing that we've been saying about Ohio State is who did they play? Well, it seems like they played pretty well and some pretty good teams, all things considered. Florida Atlantic, Miami of Ohio, Indiana. We know they just beat the bricks off of Nebraska. And we know that, hey, man, Cincy is supposed to be decent. They might be able to beat Central Florida. That was a team that was expected to win the American until recently. But even then, number 2 in the championship, maybe against Memphis. We'll see. Then at number 13, you got Michigan. Number 14, Texas. That's really good for Texas as they get ready to take on West Virginia. You got to believe that they're going to win that game. And then perhaps they get, Oklahoma. Not perhaps. They will get Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. And we expect the winner of that game to be in the driver's seat for the Big 12 championship. But we do this round robin thing in the Big 12 where you can lose that game, still get through, still face Texas or Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship, still make the college football playoff. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to go to that game. BYU at number 15, USC at number 16, Alabama at 17. I've been critical of this Alabama team. I understand that they've scored at least 42 points in every game they've played, but ask Oklahoma how that works out when you get to a semifinal if your defense isn't very good. Now, Alabama's defense is nowhere near as bad as Oklahoma's defense was in 2018. But the point is taken on having 4 freshmen in your front 7. You're going to have some mistakes, and whether or not you get those things figured out before you play a team with some firepower, we'll have to wait and see. Although Tua Tagovailoa has been a titan. I need to say that more often. Houston at number 18. Ugh. Clemson at number 19. And that's the thing with Clemson. They play in the most trash Power 5 conference in college football. And if it weren't for Clemson, there would be no representative eligible from my standing to make the college football playoff. It's just that bad. In a year where the Pac-12 probably is going to miss out if the SEC does what the SEC does, Oklahoma continues to do what it does. I know a lot of ifs here, but that's just atrocious. And Clemson at 19, they got to feel good about that because they're inside the top 25 in this trash conference. All right, we can continue to go down this list here. I just missed the button. Okay, there's the button. So when we get to number 20, we get Cincinnati. Number 21, Mississippi State. Number 22, Kentucky. Number 23, Wisconsin. Number 24, Vanderbilt. And number 25, Oklahoma State. Now, they're helped tremendously by that Texas game where they lost by 6, where the same Texas team lost by 7 to LSU. Spencer Sanders, Chuba Hubbard are a dynamic duo back there. And seriously, you're drawing it up for Chuba or you're drawing it up for Spencer to throw it to Tylan Wallace. The offense can do what the offense wants. If that defense isn't suspect the rest of the way, they're going to be a really tough out. You could see them challenging for a Big 12 championship. You could see perhaps Spencer Sanders coming on, but I still don't trust him throwing the football. And when you got a guy like Chuba Hubbard in the backfield, just hand him the ball. Just give him the ball. Try to get one-on-one coverage for Tylan Wallace, and then make it do what it do, right? And tell Jim Knowles to fix the defense. So once you get past the top 25, you got to go a ways before you get to Oklahoma at 41. Tells you who Oklahoma's has played. And you know that FCS game against South Dakota is going to ding you, especially when you get that game at home, and you're always going to get that game at home. But you also got Kansas in week 6. You got a bad Houston team when everybody thought that team was going to be good. You got a really bad UCLA team. It's just not a whole lot to pull from, especially when you play the Texas Tech team that's without their best player. Alan Bowman was supposed to make this game a little bit more interesting. And after Oklahoma played 51-46 last year with Kyler Murray won the Heisman Trophy at quarterback, this year it wasn't even close, 55-16. I think that speaks more about the regime change, right? Remember, you have a brand new first-year head coach at Texas Tech, right? And Matt Wells. David Yost still trying to get his offense going. We'll see what Keith Patterson's able to conjure the rest of the year with the defense. But when you're blitzing Jordan Brooks instead of spying him, I can't help you, man. Even when you get the pick, you don't have anything to do with it. And then dirty hit on Eli Howard, and let's not. But 41, to put that in perspective, number 42, strength schedule rankings, is Tulsa. Who is Tulsa? I just spit on the mic. I think I just spit on the mic. Who is Tulsa when we're talking about strength of schedule here, right? Well, turns out they're going to have a pretty friggin' fantastic schedule. And if they can get 7 to 8 out of that, you would feel really good about that team. But I got a hard time seeing them get to 6. They got to travel to SMU in a year where SMU decided they want to play a little football. They're ranked for the first time in 2 decades. All of a sudden, Sonny Dykes has what he wants there. And that's going to be a tough win for them if they get it in Gerald Ford Stadium. SMU. Naming stadiums after presidents. All right. So in there, Iowa State's got 33, right? Kansas State at 34, Nebraska at 35, Florida at 36, and then Tulane at 39, Washington State at 40. You got to go a ways. Like I said, and there's a couple of good teams that are ranked in front of Oklahoma when we're talking about their schedule. And strength of schedule is such a toss-up because you don't know how good anybody's going to be when you schedule them. And if you're Oklahoma or any Power 5 team, go undefeated. If you go undefeated at Oklahoma, nobody's going to keep you out of the college football playoff. That's your job, is to win out. But if you take an L, particularly to an unranked opponent, you could see yourself on the outs, kind of like Ohio State the last couple of years. In particular, last year when they got drugged by Purdue by 28. Didn't matter that they dropped a hammer on Michigan. Didn't matter that they dropped another hammer in the Big Ten Championship. It only mattered that they lost to Purdue by damn near 30. You can't do that and expect to make the playoffs. So for Oklahoma, the task is still the same. You got to go undefeated or you're just going to be playing for a Big 12 championship, you hope. And that would be that. As we continue to go down this list, Boise State at 58, okay, they might go undefeated. We'll have to see. They'd be your Group of 5 representative, you would think, if Memphis takes a loss, but I don't see Memphis taking a loss. Memphis is really good defensively. I think they're the number 1 team in the country in pass defense right now, which is ridiculous. And they have tailbacks that they can rely on. They don't really have to go with one. They can bring in dudes off the bench and get what they need. Brady White is a capable enough quarterback, and we're seeing Mike Norvell. He's going to be in line for a Power 5 job at the end of the year, I'm telling you. You continue to go down the list. It doesn't get better, but I wanted to do this thing because we've been talking about who ain't played nobody, and we expect this rating to change based on how teams play and who teams play as to how good they are and what the rankings can tell us about what these teams are doing. But I thought this would be helpful. All right, that's it for me. Doses.